Welcome to our devotional. It's good to be here together with you. Well, if you've been watching these devotionals, you know that we're looking at what did Jesus claim about himself. And in the first one, we learned that Jesus claimed to be the Messiah, the Jewish anointed one, the Messiah. And there's ample evidence to show that, in fact, Jesus is the Messiah. Next, we looked at, did Jesus claim to be God's Son? Yes, Jesus claimed to be God's Son, and there's ample evidence to show that Jesus is God's Son. And now we're looking at, did Jesus really claim to be God? And we're doing this because there's so much material. We're doing this in three parts. Last time, we looked at what did Jesus' closest associates say about him? And they all said that Jesus claimed to be God. Even the Jewish leaders thought that Jesus claimed to be God. Of course, they didn't believe, but they believed that he claimed to be God. Well, today we're going to see what characteristics of God did Jesus claim for himself. Because Jesus claimed to have the power and authority of God. He also said that he should be treated as though he was God. Speaking of being treated as though he was God, Jesus expected people to honor him like they honor the Father. Let's see, John 5:23 says this. Jesus speaking, he says, so that all will honor the Son just as they honor the Father. The one who does not honor the Son does not honor the Father. Furthermore, Jesus expected to be worshiped. And the scene is this. Jesus has gotten onto a donkey, and he starts riding into Jerusalem. And there's throngs of people all over the place following him. And they're calling out and praising him, putting their cloaks in the road in front of the donkey, putting palm branches in the road in front of him, waving the palm branches. That's the first Palm Sunday. And they're crying out this. They're crying out, blessed is the King, the one who comes in the name of the Lord. Peace in heaven and glory in the highest. And some of the Pharisees are there, and they go ballistic. They said, you can't do that. Jesus, stop your followers from worshiping you. They can't worship you. And this is what Jesus says. He says, I tell you, if these stop speaking, the stones will cry out. He said, if they don't worship me, the stones are going to cry out in praise of me. Do you know that Jesus accepted worship from people who worshiped him? It happened a number of times while Jesus walked this earth. In one case, they were out in a boat. He was out in the boat with the disciples. There was a terrible storm, and Jesus calmed the storm, and his disciples fell down and worshiped Jesus, and he accepted the worship. After the resurrection, Mary Magdalene and some of the other women saw the resurrected Jesus, and they grabbed a hold of his legs and worshiped him, and he accepted the worship. And several times his disciples saw him after he rose from the dead, and they worshiped him as God. Did you know that Jesus claimed to be an extraterrestrial? Yeah, he said, I'm not of this world. That's what he said. And he claimed more specifically in John 3:13, he said, no one has ascended into heaven except he who descended from heaven, the Son of Man. Jesus said, I came from heaven. And in John 6:38, he said that even more specifically. He said, I have come down from heaven. See, Jesus claimed to come from heaven. Do you know that Jesus claimed to have the power and the authority to give life? John 5:21. For just as the Father raises the dead and gives them life, so the Son also gives life to whom he wishes. John 5:26. For just as the Father has life in himself, so he has given to the Son also to have life in himself. And to prove that Jesus had the authority to give life, he raised at least 3 people from the dead. Or maybe more, we don't know, but we have 3 recorded cases, documented cases, where Jesus raised people from the dead. Do you know that Jesus claimed to have God's glory? Yeah. John 17:5. Jesus says, And now you, Father, glorify me together with yourself with the glory which I had with you before the world existed. Jesus said before the world existed, he and the Father had the same glory. Before time began, Jesus was. See, Jesus existed. Not only did he claim to have God's glory, he claims to have existed at the beginning of time. Furthermore, Jesus claimed to be the one who judges who goes to heaven. Matthew 25:31, I'm going to read that and then I'm going to tell you about the verses after that. It says, but when the Son of Man comes in his glory, there's that word glory again, Jesus claiming God's glory. When the Son of Man comes in glory and all the angels with him, and who are the angels? Angels are ministering spirits, minister to God, they're ministering to Jesus. Then he will sit on his glorious again, on his glorious throne. And all the people will stand before Jesus. And he'll separate them, some on the right and some on the left. And what he's going to do, he's the ones on the right, he's going to say, come with me into heaven. You are blessed. And the others, he's going to say, depart into the other place. And Jesus claimed that when he comes back at the end of time, he is going to be the judge. Furthermore, Jesus claimed to have the authority to forgive sins. The scene is this. Jesus is in a house and he's teaching. And that place is just mobbed with people. So much so, you can't get in the front door. You can't even get in through a window. There's no possibility of getting to Jesus. And there were some men who were friends with a guy who was a paralytic, couldn't walk. So they carried him there to try to get to, so that Jesus could heal him. And they couldn't get close to Jesus. So what did they do? They climbed up on the top of the roof. They opened up the roof and they lowered this guy down. Well, when Jesus saw this guy, Jim, what he said? He said, son, your sins are forgiven. Well, the Jewish leadership is there and they go, berserko. You can't say that. The only person that can forgive sins is God himself. So what did Jesus say? Jesus said, I want to show you that I have the authority to forgive this man's sins. I say to you, get up and walk and take your pallet. And the man got up and walked. And Jesus demonstrated that. Not only that, Jesus claimed that you can pray to him and he will answer your prayer. He prayed, he claimed the authority and the power to be able to answer prayer. John 15:7, if you remain in me and my words remain in you, ask whatever you wish and it will be done for you. Say, pray to me and I will answer your requests. Well, Jesus made some bold claims. These were bold claims. Unbelievably strong claims. He claimed to have come down from heaven and to return to heaven. He claimed his home was in heaven. He claimed he deserved the same honor as the Father. He claimed that he deserved to be worshipped. He claimed that he had the power to give life. He claimed the same glory as the Father. He claimed to have existed at the beginning of time. He claimed to be the judge of who goes to heaven. He claimed the ability to forgive sin. He claimed to be able to answer prayers. And, Jesus claimed to have the same power and authority as God. And Jesus expected people to treat him like they treat God. So what does this mean to me? What does this mean to me? Well, if you are a believer, you're probably saying, yeah, preach it, brother. this is really great. This is why I worship Jesus, because he is God. And but if you're not yet a believer, what this means, I think you should strongly consider Jesus' claims. It seems to me there's only three possibilities. One possibility is that Jesus knew that he wasn't God and he was lying about all these claims. Although Jesus wasn't much of a liar, and Jesus did raise at least 3 people from the dead. He did demonstrate his ability to forgive sins by raising the paralytic up. So it doesn't seem very likely to me that he was a liar. He went to the cross, and he could have stopped that at any time. A second possibility is that Jesus believed he was God, but he wasn't. He was crazy. He was crazy. That doesn't seem to be Jesus' character either. I don't think Jesus was a crazed guy. But I guess that is a second possibility. Or the third possibility is that Jesus is exactly who he claimed to be. Well, next time, we're going to consider the times when Jesus did exactly claim to be God. Not characteristics of God, but when he claimed to be God. Until then, God bless you all. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great rest of your day.